We will now call the meeting to order. We'll have the town clerk take the roll.
Saban,
Here.
Douglas,
Present.
Hurt,
Present.
Rodriguez,
Present.
Singh,
Present.
Rodriguez,
Here.
Roth,
Here.
Pupo,
Here.
Decker,
Here.
Festa,
Here.
Haywood, Antunes,
Here.
Santana,
Here.
Acosta, Santiago,
Here.
Crespo,
Present.
Ortiz,
Present.
Ortiz,
Present.
Jacola,
Present.
gotcha. Edwards,
Here.
Clyburn,
Here.
Winter,
Here.
Morrison,
Here.
Walker Myers,
Here.
Hamilton,
Present.
Marchand,
Here.
Raheem,
Present.
Furlow,
Here.
Marks, Wingate,
Present.
Smith.
A quorum has been established. We'll now have divine guidance from order from Ward 15.
Thank you, Madam President. First, I have to thank God for giving us another day of life, for being together here. I'll be short, believe me. All I really have to say is thank to God and thanks to every one of you for the last 10 years of working together, getting things done. And I pray to God to help us to get through these coming days, still dealing with this pandemic, and this year's budget that seems to be a tougher one yet. And please asking each and every one of you to put the effort of working together for the benefit and the well-being of our great city of New Haven. God bless you all, and God bless the city of New Haven. Thank you.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President, and good evening. I move approval of the Journal of the February 16, 2021 Board of Alders meeting.
Second.
The item has been moved and second. Are there any corrections to the journal? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passed, Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Under unanimous consent, I ask UC in item number 1 from the tax collector, order of tax refunds, March 1, 2021.
Is there anyone going to deny unanimous consent? Seeing none, Ms. Majority Leader.
I move the item.
Second.
The item has been moved in second. Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passed, Ms. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. I ask UC in items 2 through 7, 2, order concerning real property taxes of Samuel Ayala on motor vehicle tax accounts 889-068, 889-069, 925-607, 908-611, 53054, and 53055. 3, order concerning real property taxes of Evelise Bradley on motor vehicle tax accounts 55741, 55742, and 55743. 4, order concerning real property taxes of John Graves on motor vehicle tax account 860187. 5, order concerning real property taxes of Richie C. Jones Jr. on motor vehicle tax accounts 76384, 76385, 76734, 76735, 76736, 76737, 76738, 76739, 77238, 77239, 77240, 87643, 87846, and 87847. 6, order concerning real property taxes of Chastity Navarro on motor vehicle tax accounts 799-414, 848-070, 864-711, and 87509. 7, order concerning real property taxes of John Pilarter on motor vehicle tax accounts 735566 and 587108.
I would like to note for the record that order from Ward 28 has joined us. Is there anyone that is going to deny unanimous consent? Seeing none, Ms. Majority Leader.
I move these items.
Second.
The items have been moved in second. Discussion. I call on order for Ward 16.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to state for the record that items 3 through 7, we're asking for the interest to be waived so that the folks that apply, the applicants, can then submit full payments on their taxes, which will bring a total revenue of $5,500 to the city of New Haven. I urge the support of this board. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all favors say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passed, Ms. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Under communications, I note items 8 through 12. Under first readings, I note items 13 through 16. Bringing us to second readings. Under second readings, I move items 17A and B. 17, City Services and Environmental Policy Favorable. A, order the Board of Alders designating the corner of Bristol Street and Dixwell Avenue as Bishop Nathaniel McClam Corner. B, resolution of the Board of Alders authorizing the city to apply for and accept a grant from the Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development in an amount not to exceed $75,000 to support environmental assessment of the property located at 156 through 158 Humphrey Street.
Second.
The items have moved in second. Discussion. I call order from Ward 10.
Thank you, Madam President. On Thursday, February 4th, 2021, the City Services and Environmental Policy Committee met, and we would like to favorably recommend this item. Bishop McClam's legacy includes over 40 years of teaching and preaching in New Haven. He served his community in various positions over the decades, including as an usher, Sunday school teacher, pastor, and business owner. I urge my colleagues to vote favorably to support this item. B, on Thursday, February 4th, 2021, the City Services and Environmental Policy Committee met, and we would like to favorably recommend this item. These funds will help the city pay for environmental assessment of the parcel known as 156, 158 Humphrey Street. And this property will become market rate and affordable housing. I urge my colleagues to vote favorably to support this item. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any,
Madam President, this is Alder Morrison, and I did have my hand up. I wanted to speak on behalf of the item A.
okay, so we're already voting, so I'm gonna ask you to wait until it's a personal privilege, because we're already in the vote already.
Okay.
Okay, so I stopped at, I'll just move me off for a minute. So I said all in favor already. Any opposed? Any abstention? The item passed, Mr. Majority.
Thank you, Madam President. I move item 18, A and B, finance favorable. A, order of the New Haven Board of Alders to read and file the updated budgetary and financial reports for the month of November 2021 in compliance with Article 8, Section 5 of the Charter. B, order the New Haven Board of Alders to read and file the updated budgetary and financial reports for the month of December 2021 in compliance with Article 8, Section 5 of the Charter.
Second.
The item has been moved in second. Discussion. I call on order from Ward 24.
Thank you, Madam President. Items A and B are both read and file items. Thank you, ma'am.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of giving these items to file, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passed, Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. We'll be passing over item 19, bringing us to miscellaneous. I move item number 20, motion to discharge from the Chair of the Health and Human Services.
Majority Leader, point of order.
Oh, yes.
Item C.
Yep, I got it. Thank you. Going back to item
And it's favorable.
18. Going back to item 18, finance.
Okay, hold, can everybody just stop 1 second? Because it's a little bit confusing when you're on Zoom and you're looking at the screen and trying to do all of this stuff. So just stop a minute, give it back to the Majority Leader. He's gonna get his place and then we'll continue to, and thank you. Go ahead, Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Continuing under finance favorable, I move item 18C, ordinance amendment to appropriating ordinance number 1, authorizing reclassification of general fund positions within the Department of Parks, Public Works, Department of Public Health, and Office of Legislative Services, and transfer of funds in the amount of $25,000 from the Mayor's Office salary account 1-131-1010-50110 to the Department of Parks, Public Works 1-504-1010-50110 in the amount of $11,000, and Department of Public Health 1-301-1010-50110 in the amount of $14,000 for fiscal year 2021 through, I'm assuming that means through 2022.
Second.
The item has been moved in second. Discussion. I call on order Ward 24.
Thank you, Madam President. This ordinance is a simple transfer of funds and title changes to assist our city departments, the Department of Parks and Public Works, the Public Health Department, and the Department of Legislative Services. By doing this reorganization, we are able to assist these departments in making some administrative changes that are needed to help these departments to run more efficiently. And I ask colleagues to approve this item. Thank you, Madam President.
Is there any further discussion? Okay. Seeing none. This is an ordinance amendment. So I will have the city town clerk take the roll.
Saban,
Yes.
Douglas,
Yes.
Hurt,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Singh,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Roth,
Yes.
Kupo,
Yes.
Decker,
Yes.
Mesa,
Yes.
Haywood, Antunes,
Yes.
Santana,
Yes.
Costa, Santiago,
Yes.
Crespo,
Yes.
Ortiz,
Yes.
Nicola,
Yes.
Edwards,
Yes.
Clyburn,
yes,
Winter,
Yes.
Morrison,
yes,
Myers,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Sean,
Yes.
Rocky,
Yes.
Furlow,
Yes.
Marks,
Yes.
Wingate,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Is there anyone who haven't voted wishing to vote? Is there anyone who voted wishing to change their vote? Seeing none, the item passed. Ms. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Continuing with our agenda under miscellaneous, I move item number 20, motion to discharge from the Chair of the Health and Human Services Committee, submitting a motion to discharge the Health and Human Services Committee from consideration of the following and to take it up for immediate action. From Alders, Walker, Myers, Morrison, Furlow, DeCola, Rodriguez, Clyburn, Santiago, and Marshad, submitting an order establishing the legislative priorities for the New Haven Board of Alders and calling on the city partners to increase their commitment of resources in order to enable the city to provide services and to advance key policy priorities.
Second.
The item has been moved in second. Discussion. I call on order from Ward 26.
Thank you, Madam President. And dear colleagues, this legislative agenda is our new guiding light. With your support, it represents our voices and the voices of the residents of this great city. This agenda focuses on 5 main priorities: jobs for New Haven residents, such as New Haven Works, jobs agreements, jobs for youth. Secondly, public safety for all, which includes true community policing, programs for at-risk youth, and safe streets. Third, quality, affordable housing, which includes investment for more quality, affordable units, zoning changes to support affordability, stronger inspection regimens to ensure the wholesome conditions of homes. Fourth, health equity and vibrant communities, which include stronger public health infrastructures, stronger primary and preventative services, and of course, addressing racial disparities in access and outcomes. Next, environmental justice, which includes, but not limited to, addressing the climate change emergency, increasing resiliency of our infrastructure and resources, addressing the disparate impact on communities of need. As a legislative body, we moved quickly in this setting of the priorities. This matter was submitted to the Board of Alders on February 16th and received a public hearing before the Health and Human Services Committee on February 25th. It was the board's most well-attended video conference committee in our history of video conferencing meeting to date, with well over 100 participating. I repeat, more than 100 members of the community actually participating, not including letters, emails, and calls to various alders and the city to engage in this process. Several dozen people testified with no opposition to our legislative agenda. Tonight, I urge your support on this item so that we can move just as quickly toward transforming these goals and making them a reality. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion? I call on order from Ward 22.
Madam President, just as a point of order, do we need to move this item as discharged?
Oh, you know we need to move it as discharge because that's all we were supposed to be talking about first. So excuse me. Give me a little grace tonight. You know I was dealing with a lot today. Yes, we need to move her. So all those great things you said, order from Ward 26, I'm going to give you an opportunity to say it again. Discussion on the motion to discharge only. Seeing none, all in favor of discharge this item, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item is discharged. Thank you for that, Mr. Majority Leader. I gotta, sometimes I gotta shake my own self out of what I'm going through. But so now that's Mr. Majority Leader to move the item.
I move the item, Madam President. We got you tonight.
The item has been moved in second. Discussion, I call on order for Ward 26 and read that very eloquently like you did. Thank you.
We'll make sure they get it right. Here we go. The legislative agenda, Madam President. Thank you, Madam President. This legislative agenda is our new guiding light. It represents our voices and the voices of the residents of this great city. This agenda focuses on 5 main priorities. First, jobs for New Haven residents, which includes New Haven Works, job agreements, and jobs for youth. Second, public safety for all, which includes true community policing, programming for at-risk youth, and safe streets. Third, quality affordable housing, which includes investments for more quality affordable units, zoning changes to support affordability, and stronger inspection regimen to include and ensure a wholesome quality checks. Fourth, health equity and vibrant communities, which include stronger public health infrastructure, stronger primary and preventative services, and of course, addressing racial disparities in access and outcomes. Next, environmental justice. In order to address, but not include, not also including the climate emergency in order to address the resiliency of our infrastructure and resources. Next, addressing the disparate impact on communities of need. As a legislative body, we moved quickly in setting these priorities. This matter was submitted to the Board of Alders on February 16th and received a public hearing before the Health and Human Services Committee on February 25th. It was the board's most well-attended video conference committee meeting to date, with more than 100 members of the public and majority of the Board of Alders engaged in this process. Several dozen people testified with no opposition to our new legislative process. Tonight, I urge your support so that we can move just as quickly towards transforming these goals into reality. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. I will now call on order from Ward 32. Well, I will now call on order from Ward 29.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to thank the whole committee, Alder Brakeem, for holding such a stellar meeting. I just want to say thank you to the vision that our majority leader, our President Pro Temp, our Madam President, and all the leadership had in reference to opening this up to the community. This is what it's about, right? This is how we supposed to be governing reaching out to the community and community giving us input on their interests, on their city, on our city. So I know we got a lot of challenges ahead, as you know, but I just want to say thank you so much. And I think this was a wonderful, wonderful way to collaborate with our constituents. Thank you.
I'll now call on order from Ward 25.
Thank you, Madam President. I stand in strong support of this resolution, and I encourage colleagues to vote yes on this item. This legislative agenda follows upon this board's earlier agendas and has been honed by thousands of conversations with residents on their porches, over the phone, and in public meetings. It reflects the needs of a city still burdened by the legacy of segregation and exclusion. We need jobs for New Haven residents. Our city suffers from a lack of access to good jobs, particularly for residents in neighborhoods of need. Our board established New Haven Works, which has connected hundreds of residents to jobs, but more must be done. We need a safe city for all. That includes a feeling of trust between the people and those who police them. We established a more independent civilian review board, but more must be done. We must stop the scourge of violence, especially among our youth, and make our streets safer for all users. We need quality affordable housing. This board established an affordable housing task force and voted to accept its recommendations. With a permanent commission established, we must now move policies to support the creation of more affordable units. And we need to strengthen our inspection programs. We need health equity for a more vibrant community. The COVID pandemic has made more evident than ever that the health system serves our population unequally, and not everyone has the access they need to medical services. Let us make more investments in public health for everyone. We need environmental justice. Too often, communities of color bear an undue burden of pollution and environmental degradation. It is time to act together to make our city cleaner and safer and more resilient. I thank our board's leaders for their vision. I thank the residents for their participation, and I urge my colleagues to support this item. Thank you, Madam President.
I will now call on order from Ward 27, followed by order from Ward 22.
Thank you, Madam President. I am going to cut it much shorter than what I had originally intended. I thought as Majority Leader, I should cover each one of these points, but a lot has already been said. So I will just say that this resolution does cover a span of very important issues that we collectively must concentrate on for the health and for the forward motion of our city, and that I fully support the entirety of this resolution. And I am really looking forward to working with my colleagues to strengthen what we have already been working on and doing as the Board of Alders, as a legislative branch of government, and to also passing new legislation and looking at policies that are going to keep us in forward motion. So thank you again, Madam President, for your leadership and for your direction. And thank you to the Board of Alders for your support of this very important resolution moving forward. Thank you.
Madam President, I'm a point of order. I'm assuming I can go ahead since you called my name.
Followed by Ward 22.
Yeah, okay, I don't want to break the rules. So I stand here in support of this this awesome legislative agenda. As one of the alders who has also been here for 10 years, we from day one coming onto this board, 2012, we have always created a platform for the residents' voices to be heard. And once again, our president, our leadership, our entire board has come together to lay out this roadmap so everyone in the city understands what the priorities are of this board. And so I am so excited about this coming out. especially right now as we go into budget season. And as our communities will see, their voices will be heard as we vote, each one, as we look at job, safety, housing, health, environmental justice. So I stand here and I ask each one of my colleagues to please support this legislation. This is not only the residents' voices, this is our voice. And through us, we will see changes. Through us, we will see justice for all. So, Madam President, I thank you so much for the opportunity to speak on behalf of this agenda. Thank you.
Now call on order from Ward 1, followed by order from Ward 9.
Thank you, Madam President. I want to thank my colleagues and the leaders of this board for submitting this legislative agenda, because I think it is one we can all be proud of. And thank you to all the city residents who testified before the Health and Human Services Committee last week to talk about their experiences, the challenges they've faced, and their vision for a better New Haven. As a lifelong New Havener, I grew up seeing need all around me, and I ran for the Board of Alders because I knew that this body had the ability to change the lives of families in our community. I'm very proud to support this legislative agenda, and I'm committed to working with my colleagues to fight for jobs, public safety, affordable housing, health equity, and environmental justice. I'm also committed to making sure that Yale and Yale New Haven Hospital step up and contribute the resources our city needs to make sure every person in every neighborhood has access to the jobs, housing, health care, and safety they deserve. We have to have a new deal from Yale and the hospital. Our residents have waited too long for justice. I urge all my colleagues and city residents to join me in supporting this legislative agenda. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise in support of this resolution as well. We live in a profoundly unequal city. New Haven is one of the most economically unequal cities in one of the most economically unequal states in the country. The haves, who in some cases have been the have for several hundred years, are running further away from the have-nots every single day. But the most disturbing part of this inequality is that it stems from a legacy of institutionalized racism. When you look at maps depicting poverty in New Haven, or home foreclosures initiated, or asthma, or life expectancy, or most stunning, COVID-19 infections and deaths, these maps match up almost perfectly with maps depicting racist redlining policies from the 1930s. This legacy is our tragedy. It is unacceptable. We must undo this legacy. We must change these maps. I thank this board's leadership and the Health and Human Services Committee for moving this agenda forward. This Board of Alders has a long-standing commitment to change the maps. It's a main reason why I chose to run for election in 2017. And this board has won important victories in that time, especially on jobs for our residents. I'm proud to support this legislative agenda to affirm our commitment, but I also want to emphasize that I endorse it not merely as a recognition of a problem, not merely as a grappling with a tragedy, and not merely as an acknowledgement of the work done so far. I endorse it as a call to action, action that is just and swift and meaningful. That is the legislative agenda I rise to support today. We must meet this moment, and we must insist that those with power in our city do everything they can to meet it as well. Thank you, Madam President.
I will now call on orders from Ward 3, followed by order from Ward 4.
Thank you, Madam President, and to the leadership, and to Mr. Chair of the Health and Human Services and the committee. I want to stand in support of this agenda. I am pleased and honored to sit on this board, in which we are fighting for our city on a daily basis. When I ran, I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but now I know. And I'm happy I'm in this fight, in this struggle for the people of this great city of New Haven. So much has been said, so I dare not bore you any longer, but I just want to urge all my colleagues to support. And thank you for this time, Madam President.
Order from Ward 4, you go next.
Thank you, Madam President. I too am in support of the legislative agenda, and I speak on behalf of it as when it was first introduced this time around, the discussion of the legislative agenda, it was very appealing to me, because in seeing all of the work that is being done and listening to the residents in all the things that we've been through in the past few years, in the review of the literature, in the review of the past legislative agendas, in looking at the work of all the surveys that have been collected and all the public hearings that we attend ongoingly, hearing our residents, I think we finally came up with something that is really concrete and that really is about all of us. And that gives us the opportunity not only to listen to the residents, but also to look at everyone that has a stake in the work that New Haven has to do in order to meet the very needs of our communities wherein it lies. These 5 goals that we have that have been mentioned over and over by a number of our colleagues also gives us the opportunity to show the talents and gifts that many of the alders have. I want to take the opportunity to say thank you to individuals like Adam Marchand, who put in some efforts in the initial work that we did this time around. I want to say thank you, Madam President, for putting it all together to clearly demonstrate those 5 main goals that I think that in the long run are going to be very helpful as we continue to address them in the best interest of all of us. Thank you, Madam President.
I will now call on orders from Ward 21, followed by order from Ward 24.
Thank you, Madam President. I want to thank leadership, the chair and vice chair of the Health and Human Services Committee, and all my colleagues for their work on this legislative agenda. This agenda addresses both the immediate and urgent needs of our residents, jobs, public safety, quality housing, safe streets, and the systemic, the unseen, the pervasive issues that shape all of our lives: inequity in healthcare, structural racism, environmental justice, and the climate crisis. We have the opportunity and the power through the budget, through zoning, through legislation, to make meaningful progress on all of these issues. I urge my colleagues to support. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Madam President. I also rise in support of this legislative agenda. I think it's imperative that we stand up for our residents here in the city of New Haven, and this legislative agenda speaks to that. I look forward to working with my colleagues to make sure we accomplish this legislative agenda for the betterment of all the residents of the city of New Haven. And I am grateful to the Health and Human Services Committee, all the members, as well as the chair and vice chair, for their effort. With their hard work, they brought in all of our residents, over 100 people participating in this meeting. And that shows you the importance of how our residents feel. And I am so grateful to be a part of this process, and thank you to our leadership for putting this forth. Thank you, Madam President. I ask colleagues to support this legislative agenda. Thank you.
I will now call on colleagues Ward 7, followed by colleague from Ward 20.
Thank you, Madam President. And I want to thank all my colleagues who brought this forward. I very much support this agenda, and to thank everyone who came out and testified and everyone on the committee and everyone who has made very eloquent statements tonight. These are critical priorities for our city. There's several ways we can advance them that don't require significant funding, such as our zoning ordinances. However, other strategies for moving forward will require a significant financial investment. I look forward to working with my colleagues to push these forward, but I think a critical part of that is going to be, if we're going to advance them in the long term, to find new approaches to address our pension obligations. With the budget coming out today, under both scenarios, there's at least a $16 million increase in pension costs from last year's budget. And that's assuming a 7.25% rate of return versus the 7% rate recommended. So I worry that if we don't find a way to address this, we won't be able to move forward on these critical goals.
Point of order.
So thank you.
Order from Ward 20.
Thank you, Madam President. And I want to say thank you to all my colleagues. I stand and I support this legislative agenda. I'm just grateful because our city want to take action. And these are all the priorities that's important to all of the city. And whatever it takes, I know we will accomplish these things. And I want to say thank you to Alder Brakeem and the committee, especially to you, my Madam President, for the stand that you take in your leadership. I also want to say all the beautiful words that was said, and they wasn't just beautiful, but they were words of action. Like the scripture said, words that are fitly spoken is like apples of gold and pitchers of silver. So I'm just so grateful. And I'm just grateful to be a part of this time to continue to have our residents, our community voices heard and to take action. Thank you, Madam President.
I will now call on colleague from Ward 28.
Yes, thank you, Madam President, and to Alder Brakeem and to the whole committee, all of the leadership there. Thank you for just giving the community a voice to be able to be heard, and everything that was a top priority, those that have worked hard with the surveys and everything over the last few years to bring this to light. This is going to be great, and I am so happy, and I stand in support of everything that's going to take place and move forward. And I'm asking all of my colleagues as well to please support this resolution. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passed, Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. I move to suspend section 24-1-A of the rules of the Board of Alders to conduct further business.
Second.
Item has been moved in second. Discussion. Seeing none. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passes, Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Under communications, I note items 21 and 22. I move to close section 24-1-A of the rules of the Board of Alders.
Second.
The item has moved in second. Discussion. Seeing none. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? And before a motion to adjourn is appropriate, I will take points of personal privilege. Before I call on colleagues, I will start with myself. I just want to say thank you to all the others that reached out to me all weekend and today. Look, I've been going through a lot in the last 15 months, but it means a lot when people, realize and recognize that, I'm strong, and I'm not gonna act like I'm not. I'm very strong. I carry a lot, but I'm also human. So I appreciate it. If I didn't get back today, it's because I was really, really busy with my family. I'm a family person, and sometimes family, most of the time, is first for me. So I apologize, didn't to ignore anybody. And then I want to talk a little bit and say something about the legislative agenda. I think that it's really important that we follow these priorities. And I know some people might talk about other things, that are important and things we need to look at. But right now, what we're focusing on is making sure and trying to figure out what the needs of all people across the city really is. And for a long time, a lot of the priorities that we chose actually affect people that was left behind before, throughout a whole bunch of different times in history. And right now, as the leader of the board, it's not easy, but I made a commitment to myself, to my community, and to people all across New Haven that what I'm going to try to do is bring people that's always been on the bottom, bring them up a little closer to the top. And what that looks like is going to be different for all of us. But I think we need to really figure out how we can work together to get it done. It's been too long since people had an opportunity or access, and now is the time that people just going to have opportunity and access. Some people might like it, some people might not. But at the end of the day, we're committed to these priorities, and under my leadership, we're going to press forward. So I want everybody, represent your communities, because that's what you're supposed to do. But just like you're going to represent your community, I'm going to represent mine. And my community is hurting right now. So the voices that I'm listening to is very loud. And that's people just looking for access and a hand up. And that's what I'm going to do as long as I'm president of the board. So whoever, you need to move forward and press that agenda forward. Because we can get blindsided by all these other things that might happen, can happen, and all the other things. We got to press forward. And that's what we're going to do. And we're going to do it together. And that's just what it's going to be. So now I will start with the points of personal privilege, and I will call on colleague from Ward 22.
Thank you, Madam President. And again, thank you for your leadership, and I am right behind you. So I just, two things I wanted to say. And I want to thank this board for voting and passing the corner naming of the Bishop McClam. Just real quickly, Bishop McClam, as we all know, he was a pillar in the Dixville community. And he opened a funeral home in 2000, which wasn't an easy thing. And over the years, over the last, forever, 21 years, this family, under the leadership of Bishop McClam, they have given hope and given life, even after death, to so many families throughout the city of New Haven. And I just wanted to stand here and have that be recognized, although you recognized it through your vote tonight. And again, I thank you, that the bishop had what I call heart and legacy. His heart was about making sure that regardless of your circumstance, you will have the best homegoing that you can. And his legacy is always to make sure that you include New Haven residents in employment and things of that sort, to make sure that New Haven as a whole is taken care of. So I thank you all once again for ensuring that the name of the bishop will be high, and people every day have an opportunity to remember the legacy that the bishop has brought forward. And then secondly, I just wanted to thank everyone, every alder, every resident who attended, and every person who attended our Black History program on this past Friday, the 26th. I had the honor of chairing the Black History program. And this year, be it, because we have to do everything Zoom, I didn't know how this was gonna go. So we made a decision under the leadership of our president and under the leadership of our Black and Hispanic Caucus chairperson to do a panel discussion on the vaccinations. And it was really important to do this on behalf of Black and Brown people, because we have a fear of the vaccinations due to past history. And all of you who showed up, I thank you, because we all walked away a lot knowledgeable. I just want to take a second to thank Dr. Williams from Cornell Scott, Dr. Vasquez from the City Department of Health, Dr. Tamiko Jackson, and Chief Paul Mounds, the governor's chief of staff, for being a part of our panel. And last but definitely not least, Dr. Okafor, our former CSA, who moderated the conversation. So again, I thank this board, the city, for participating, and have a great evening.
I will now call on order from Ward 29.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to give a shout out to my chair of public safety, working alongside with him, part of our legislative agenda, pulling all the efforts together to really try to slow down the violence in the city, pulling the FBI, the task force, the two chiefs of police, Yale University, New Haven. I just want to give a shout out. Working with him has been really, really great. It's really, really good on how we move things. We didn't have 130, but we had about 60 that came on to participate in our discussion. But I just wanted to, just put it out there that we are really trying to look at the city and look at being a better city for its crime. I know that community-based policing is the choice. We have to figure that out. As I said earlier today, that we have some challenges that's before us, but I just wanted to give a personal shout out working with him, and it's really good. And thank you, Madam President, for giving me this time.
I will now call on order from Ward 25.
Thank you, Madam President. I invite colleagues and the public at large to attend the next meeting of the Finance Committee, which will take place on Monday, March 8th at 6 p.m. This will be the first of many public meetings on the mayor's proposed budget for fiscal year 2021-22. It will include an update on the grand list, an overview of Mayor Eliker's budget proposals, and the first of 3 public hearings on this topic. I encourage members of the public to come to this meeting, which will be available via the Zoom platform, so that they may learn more about the budget and share their comments and concerns. Thank you, Madam President.
I will now call on order for Ward 3.
Thank you, Madam President. And this year, coming into this year, has been a trying time in my life, and I want to thank all of those who have been supporting me and calling me and giving me well wishes. But on Friday evening, I will be funeralizing a mentor in my life. I called Pops, the Reverend Elder James Brown, Senior. He passed away Sunday past. I would just like to take a moment of silence, if I could, for Pop Brown, and just keep the Brown family, myself and my family, in your prayers. Thank you.
I will now call on colleague from Ward 20.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to say thank you to everyone who attend the Black and Hispanic Caucus Black History Program. I want to say thank you to our President Pro Tem. Thank you so much. You just know how to do it. And I just want to say thank you. And Madam President, thank you for even that idea and how it just took shape. And it gave a lot of understanding, I'm sure, to our residents. And I want to say thank you to the residents in this city who was on as well. I know it opened my eyes and gave me a lot of understanding about the vaccine. And I just want to just say thank you to everyone who supported us. And it was a great Black history. I think this was the best President Pro Tem. All right, thank you.
Seeing no more points of personal privilege, a motion to adjourn is appropriate.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
The item hasn't moved in second. All in favor? say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Good
Aye.
night, everyone, and be
Aye.
safe.
Good night.